Hello, everybody. You might be able to hear us. We're getting set up. I'm gonna set up.
Hello.
Let me add the starting scene.
Yeah. What anime are you gonna? No, they can. We're not live yet. I'm not gonna do that bit.
Are we not? Let's see here.
There we
no,
go.
by notebook.
Oh,
Oh
there
yeah,
we
we
go.
are. Yeah, hello. Hello, everybody.
There we go,
It's probably all. It's black. Don't worry about it. I'll fix it. We're gonna.
I'll do that bit. What anime are you gonna watch this season?
I'm gonna watch the one about the person who does amazing things. What anime is there? What bit? What are we talking about here?
What are you?
I don't know. I just like to ask you about anime because you don't know shit about anime, and that's funny to me.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna watch Miyazaki movies.
Can you believe
Let's
it, Jeff?
fucking
That the point is coming where we're made fun of for not watching anime.
Yeah,
what the hell is this?
You know what? What happened here? We messed up somewhere
all
along the
wrong.
line.
Exactly. We're gonna make fun of you for being a
Anime
normie
fans have too many
and
freedoms.
not a weeb.
Too many freedoms
Yeah.
is what I've always said.
I like how the anime fans turn around. The moment it became cool to like anime, they immediately started making fun of people for not
they were
watching
immediately
it,
the
right?
bullies.
They were
Always
yeah,
make
they
fun
were
of people that
exactly.
didn't watch
They
anime,
immediately
okay?
turned it around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Maya, how does it feel that everything you like in the world is heavily influenced by anime?
I'm more confused about all the things that were bad that are apparently good now. Like Castlevania 64. I've seen I swear I've seen 4 major videos about how Castlevania 64 is actually pretty good in the last year. I'm like,
You
I
know
don't
what?
even know.
Actually,
I
all
rented
Sonic
it
games
once.
were good.
I don't think. I rented it one time. I find it very hard to believe that Castlevania 64 was good. I remember playing it; it was bad. I remember everyone at the time hated it. I'm just very confused.
It's got some cool stuff happening.
Sure, I believe you.
Just part of the gaslighting campaign.
Is this some
There's a
like Star
Frankenstein
Wars?
with
That
the
Star Wars prequel were
chainsaw for
actually
a
good
hand.
type shit?
Is it?
There's
it's
a lot of cool Castlevania stuff in all the games. So what?
Wow.
Still plays like dog shit.
I don't know. I think it's fine
Okay.
for an N64 game.
For an N60, there's good N64 games. We don't have to put it on a curve.
Add Stinger, add Luma Wipe, add Fade to Color, add. All right.
I saw a little bug. What the hell's in there? Ugh.
Video file.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch. The new season of Overlord. That's gonna be lit.
I bet, dude. It's gonna be so
It's
fucking
gonna be
lit when
great.
he overlords people. Holy shit!
Yeah, he murders the fuck out of people on that
I
anime.
can't fucking wait.
And I wanna watch
dude.
that one
Wow.
with the vampire and the kid. I don't know.
Shit, dude. Vampires in an
Yeah.
anime?
So, yeah.
Holy
You
shit!
ever heard of? A new concept.
I get fucking stoked, dude. It's gonna be so sweet when the vampires show up.
I agree. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're
Yeah, it's
excited
gonna be
about
fucking lit, dude.
it. And the other one with the overall, yeah.
What the hell was? What was that?
I don't
Was there
know.
a old computer commercial playing on our screen? What the hell are you doing?
I'm breaking stuff. We can start the show. Hang on. What else do we need here? Okay.
You're all breaking me.
Yeah. I gotta turn that off. Hang on. Let's just do. Let's just cut.
You know, people in chat loves the anime talk.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna keep it
they
going
do.
your way.
No
Don't worry
God of
about it.
War Ragnarok news. Matt Booty talking about Crunch. Fans are pissed that Mega Man Battle Network Collection is skipping Xbox.
right, guys. Pretty much right after this, if you're in the producers channel, go into what is it called? The Only the Strong Voice channel.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Bug Fables.
Mike, are you gonna record that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on Twitch while we do it.
Okay,
that
perfect, awesome.
It'll be recorded. So
Yeah, then
yes.
I'll get it from there and I'll put it in the thingamabob.
We need to talk about that YouTube channel I told you about.
Oh yeah, it's a good
I'll
idea.
figure that out too.
Okay, then Metroid Prime news stuff. We could talk maybe a little bit about the
talked
direct.
about all that. That was one of the
Yeah, we
big things.
did.
People don't want us to talk about things on here that we already talked about.
You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
Only
I
the
don't
freshest
want
content on this channel, okay? None of that repeating
Ron
shit.
Gilbert said he will stop talking about Monkey Island because people are pretty toxic. So anything else that we should hit? Anything big that we should talk about from the past week?
This looks good.
Okay.
No.
The questions will clean up the rest.
That's kind of how I feel. And then, yeah.
Tweet. We do have to tweet.
You
Thank
do
you.
have to tweet.
Thank you, Turbo Sean.
You have to tweet. So you know what? Let's get the video going.
Nice.
Let's make a mess. That sounds gross.
Oh, that's broken.
Are we talking about anime?
No.
Oh, okay.
Jeff, I just give it to you straight, and I told you how much I liked your Hawaiian shirt things. As much as I like those, I absolutely hate you in muscle shirts.
Yeah, that's fair. Me too.
Too much skin?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Bro,
everything.
if a vampire
think I like
you reflect
anybody
sun
in
out of that
muscle
skin,
shirts.
you will kill a vampire with it.
Well, it'd
I
be
think-
better if
oh,
I
I
had
think-
muscles, but yeah.
I think only The Rock is allowed to wear muscle shirts.
Yeah.
Well, the rock looks like a pork chop, like well done. You know, it
I would,
looks like
yeah, well, I would terrify people if I had a muscle shirt. People are not ready for the amount of body hair that I have on my shoulders.
I mean, I don't want the world to be ready for that. I want them to be
No.
shocked.
Shocked.
what happened with your dumbbells
It's
that
too
you
hot.
bought like 3 months ago,
I-
4
but
months ago?
I
Remember,
use
you
them-
were super excited about it.
I've been using them, but I've also been moving and stuff, so we just got it set up. But I
To be
just did-
clear, my goal is not to body shape Jeff.
Body
That's
shape.
not what it's
No,
about.
I know.
It's just
It is his
about I
point.
don't
I'm not
like
saying
muscle
that-
shirts.
He's
Twice
looking
alive.
great. You're
What's
looking-
his
you're
whole
looking-
reason for being is to body shame Jeff Grubb. I see how it is.
No. You're looking good. I just saw your body and I was like, oh right.
And you
he-
thought
I
that
was
it
watching-
looked flabby and not muscular, so you act
No,
like,
no,
hey,
no,
how
no,
come you
no,
look
no,
like
no,
shit?
no.
I mean, that's kind of what you
I
said.
just remember
I
the
think you look
dumbbells.
great. I know Chris is a jerk who likes anime.
No.
First,
I was watching
This
Kids in the
narrative-
Hall, and it opened up with two guys sitting in the sauna, and then one guy just goes turns to the other one. And says, Jim, have you ever looked at my body? And I just really appreciate that. It's such a funny thing to say. Then it turns out he had grown boobs that day, and he really needed someone to talk to someone about that. But yeah, Kids in the Hall, pretty good stuff still. Okay.
I like boob.
Yeah, I know. You watch anime for a reason. I get it.
but no way.
Okay, so we've tweeted. We've done some.
Talk about your
Wait,
boobs.
why people chat mad at me? Chris was the one who did it. I said nothing about Jeff's body.
I just remember the dumbbells. I
I
don't
used
know.
the dumbbells. It's just we started.
Yeah, you were
moving.
like, oh, did you leave
no,
the dumbbells
because
and go
I see-
around? It was basically
Well, okay.
It looks
what
like
you
you
said.
have.
I see
Because
tank top.
they
And
were
we were
too
talking
heavy
about
to
the rock.
They were too heavy to move.
They're too big for me. No, yeah, I did some kettlebells today. Actually, that's what I've been using recently.
Yeah, Jeff, I guarantee you've done more exercise today than I did the last month. You're good.
Okay, let's get this show started. You ready? You ready to do this thing?
I'm ready to do anything but talk about your shirt.
Let's talk about my body some more, everybody. All right.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna count down. I'm gonna hit record, and then we'll get into it. Actually, let me make sure that the audio works.
I got to open stream elements. I'll do that now.
Yeah, actually, I didn't put a button here to take me there. Let's see.
Hey, push the like button. Please.
How's that sound? You hear the music?
No.
No, you wouldn't, because I'm using the wrong thing. You hear it now?
Yep.
And how loud is it for chat? Oh, it's muted.
It's kind of soft to me.
Is that better? No?
Yeah. It's louder. That's for
Oh, okay.
sure.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm counting down, and we're getting into it in 5,
Did you
4. Oh, yes, I did.
Okay.
5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything. We still have decides, right? I was like, oh, we changed the name. We don't have decides anymore. That doesn't make sense.
I was just thinking how impressed I was you said the name right, and then you double guess yourself about the wrong thing. Yes, that's the
everything
name.
about the
Game
world of
Mess
games,
Decides.
so you don't have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is...
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, we have news, we have games, we have human bodies that are worth talking about and being proud of, and you're just going to have to deal with that, everybody. Mike, how are you doing?
Fine. It's been busy. I wish I had some more time to play some games lately, honestly, but we got a long weekend coming up, and I don't think I have too many obligations this time. It's been a lot of weekends where it's like, It's funny how even when I have just one thing to do in a weekend, like go to somebody's house for a couple hours, somehow that's always seems to take up the whole day anyways.
Yes, it does. Definitely
I don't know how that happens.
It's always been that way for me, but yeah, so I totally understand. It's like any obligation, that's just all I can think about, and it's hard to like make other plans or even enjoy like the time before that thing. Cause it's like, well, at any minute I'm gonna have to like shut all this down, and you've worked with me, so you know, like if I start doing something else, I'm gonna forget about that thing anyhow. So
yeah, right. It's hard. It's like, I'm gonna start playing this game. I have to leave in 3 hours, which is ridiculous. But it's how I feel sometimes.
Yep, absolutely. I have an obligation this time for real. My minivan has been fixed, and I will be getting on the train as long as I got to sign something. And they were like, "You're gonna have to come in person to sign this." I'm like, "Man, I don't want to come during business hours. That's gonna like ruin an entire day for me. So please, can we just send me the email? I'll sign it and I'll fax it to you or something." So we're working on that. But it's not yet. As long as it's just sounding like they probably most of the time when they have people that need to sign something, like the suggestion of like sending that as an email is like so like over the head of these people in Indiana. Not to like shit on Indiana or anything, but like that's what it's like.
Shit all over it. Right. Make them messy.
When I
make them a
game
it,
mess. He's like, "Oh, that's gonna be a lot of work," and then he's like, "Well, just send it as an attachment." I'm like, "Okay, that's not a lot of work, homie. That's like pretty normal stuff."
It's just an old person who's afraid of computers.
No, I mean he just works. I think he probably gets a lot of customers who are old people who are afraid of computers.
Nah, that
what
can
it
make
is.
sense. Sure.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, no, this is great. If anything you can do to help there. So it sounds like I'm gonna be able to sign that, send it back to them tonight. They'll get it tomorrow. I already paid for everything, so I just show up on Saturday. My keys will be in a box somewhere, and I'll be able to just drive home that morning. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting on the train, and then that night there's gonna be like fireworks and stuff. It's gonna be a fun weekend. I'm not feeling too like oh, let's celebrate America right now, but also I do want to just like enjoy my long weekend and be around people I like and things like that.
Explosions are fun. Your kids
Exactly.
will like the explosions. Give them some sparklers. Eat some hot dogs.
Yes, they love fireworks.
Whatever. Yeah. It'll be fun. It's nice having 4th of July on a Monday.
Yes, absolutely.
Pretty well.
Yeah, nice long weekend for sure. I guess I'll say this tomorrow on my show, but if you watch Game Mess mornings on Giant Bomb, I will not be doing a show on Monday. I'm going to be off that day. So yeah.
That sounds fair. Maybe I'll do a show.
Yeah, there you go. We'll come on there with you.
Actually, wait, no, I'm not. I'm going out because it's a holiday.
Yeah.
I have to go see my family.
I got to start looking to get other guests on that show. So I'm going to have you on pretty frequently, but I'm like, I should see who else I can get on there. I think I'm going to have Imran on so I could take him out live on the air and I could come back to be number 2 journalist. And Andy Cortez will blow up eventually.
Andy.
So.
Oh, you should get Emron and Andy on after their blowout today. That'd be fun.
Oh, we blew out today? Did I miss something? I've been pretty busy.
The Twitter beefs.
Oh, yes. Okay, fair enough. Yes, I
don't even know why I brought it. Trust me, I'm not picking a side. I don't even know why I brought it up, but I can't help myself because you see it, and it's so weird to me that seeing people fight in quote unquote public. I can't help myself.
I actually don't know what you're talking about then, so fair enough. I missed this one today. I've had a pretty busy day of making content and minding my own beeswax, Mike.
Oh, so you're saying I'm not busy just because I'm refreshing to see if the new person replied to the other person. Ooh, then I'm like, what is he gonna say next? And that's my pathetic life. Yeah.
I mean, listen, that sounds like a good time to me. Get more for Mike and me. Well, at GameMess.net. Yeah, that works because then that gets you to the Discord. Join our Discord community. Come hang out with us there. Mike works at GamesBeat. I work at Giant Bomb. You could catch our content there. If you want to ask a question, you could drop us a super chat during the show here on YouTube. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme song. We are on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening. Hit that like button on YouTube. It helps people find the show. Thank you to our mods, and you can support this show by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you into the secret channels inside the Discord. Also gets you access to the monthly Q&A. Just posted that. You can find the link in the podcast producers channel. And our Jeopardy game, which we did last week, and actually I think I posted the last month's Jeopardy game live for everybody this morning. I should actually look and see if that actually went up. I can't remember if that actually happened. I scheduled it to. Don't know if it happened. But either way, you get access to all that stuff if you join the Patreon or if you hit the join button here on YouTube. Please go ahead and do that. And you can get to all that stuff by going to GameMess.net, and we have all the links right in there. It's an easy way of finding everything. Mike, that reminds me, I have done so much work in like these last couple of evenings trying to get all the LLC stuff figured out. We are officially an LLC now, by the way. Game Mess Limited is we're a limited liability corporation here in the state of Ohio. We have our virtual offices and everything. Now I just need to open up a business bank account, and as soon as I do that, you get money. You get money.
What's my title here? I got a new fancy title at GamesBeat, and that placated me. Now you need to placate me.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so I was going to go with owner, but maybe I can go with CEO. Do you want a fun title? I mean, what do you want it to be?
Oh, not CFO. What is COO? I could be the chief operating officer.
Yeah, but we could make up you could be the CFO and I could be the chief fucking officer. Yeah.
I want to be the chief messy boy, CMO. Or CMP, I can't even do it. CMP.
Chief messy boy.
Messy boy.
I love
How about the chief messy one? Like the CMO. No, boy's better.
I should make you fill out paperwork and then have to put that as your title for with the United States government.
Messy boy.
The IRS is just like, yeah, this is fine. Whatever. It's Mike Minotti.
I need it. Yeah, I've been having to act ever so slightly more professional sometimes in some of these meetings and things now, right? And sometimes it's good to just call myself a messy boy or scream about spicy bubbles or whatever.
Right. But I'm like excited to like be at the end of this thing where I'm like, okay, I'm going to set up multiple bank accounts. One's going to be for just when the money comes in, and then a bunch of money will go out of there, and that'll be our tax account. Gosh. And then here's money I'm going to set aside for like doing like fun things. And with that money, like hits a certain threshold, maybe we can like have a meetup or something and things like that.
Yeah.
But so
okay, man, what the heck? Are we on Giant Bomb or something? We've been bantering for like 20 minutes. I haven't talked about a game yet. Come on.
Big topics of the week. There's no God of War Ragnarok news today, even though everyone said that. Well, we were supposed to get God of War Ragnarok news by the end of this month. Jason Schreier said this previously. The snitch was like teased in the 30th. Sounds like that was delayed. At least that's according to Tom Henderson, who said God of War Ragnarok news got pushed out of the last day of this month. We were getting that sense yesterday when Cory Barlog was out there saying, hey, I wish I could talk about it right now. And you got the sense like he was being sort of apologetic because maybe the date leaked of the announcement, and then they got the word that they're going to actually move this stuff back a little bit. It was when pre-orders were supposed to go live and all this stuff. The game apparently still not delayed. Cory Barlog's still out there when people are like, hey, just tell us that it's delayed. And Cory Barlog's, well, it's not, though. That's why we won't say that. How are you feeling about God of War, and how are you feeling about like this delay of the announcement cycle?
Yeah, it's all very weird, isn't it? And it's this weird problem we have now of how do you deal with this kind of mega attention, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that almost sucks about it is that this shouldn't be Cory Balrog's job, right?
Right.
This like he's not supposed to be like a social media like manager or like PR for it, right? But he's, he is the figurehead for this game, and he has a social media account, so everybody in the world has access to him. And what are they going to do? They're going to bitch and whine is what they are going to do. It's probably obnoxious, and it's hard for us, Jeff. I mean, you are very uninterested in this game. I'm relatively interested in it. I like the first one. I'm not ravenous for it, so maybe it's hard for me to understand. But it's hard for me to understand how people are like they can't contain themselves without knowing for sure when this game is coming out this year. And even if they do know for sure, they need to know the exact day, because that will make them happy.
Yeah, and you know what I think might be the real truth here, Mike, is nothing will make these people happy. These people are always going to be miserable if this is the thing that they're looking for. That's kind of the way I've treated where a lot, like I want more news about all kinds of stuff, all kinds of things. But even once you get that news, you're still not playing the game. You have to wait to play the game. And like nothing is going to make that come faster. It is just going to be what it is. And so I try to get to a mindset where it's like, I'm just not going to worry about this thing until it's here in front of me and I can actually play it. Now, I get that having excitement is exciting. Having excitement can be fun, and anticipating things maybe makes the reward of finally getting to taste it all the sweeter. But not if it makes you a shithead in any way, and really not if it like puts people out or sort of annoys people. If you're just like a consumer and you have is $70 in your pocket and to spend on the product these people spent 5 years making, in the grand scheme of things, you're not that important. Like you're just another customer at that point. Like just chill out. Don't act like you have some huge entitlement to this stuff. But That said, like putting the shitheads aside, my concerns with God of War are very little. This game is going to come out this year, as far as I could tell, and they are the reasons they're probably not talking about it probably make a lot of sense internally. Another thing I've realized is people almost never speculate what is actually happening with things. People actually almost always get it wrong, even if there's like an obvious answer in front of them. If you try to guess at what's happening, you are probably going to guess wrong. So I'm not gonna try to imagine what is happening here. If I had to come up with something, I just feel like it's probably just we wanted to make sure that the pre-orders were in place for the certain place and they weren't, so we're gonna wait a little bit. Who knows?
Do you think like right now they are? If they didn't have a new date yet for when they were going to announce this, do you think they're kind of racing to put that together now?
Yeah,
they're just kind of tired of it.
Yeah, I bet.
Fine, let's just. I mean, at this point, maybe like just make it a tweet. Who cares anymore?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's like yeah, they probably had another date in mind. Like if this one wasn't going to work out, they probably already had like a contingency plan. And they're probably just falling back to that, and that's why they are usually they are probably feeling pretty calm and collected over there because they're like, oh no, the plan just moved from here to there. It's just from the outside, it's so easy to imagine all these fires and all these puddles building up, and that anxiety we always talk about when you imagine the worst because you don't have the thing you want in front of you and it's not good yet until you actually get a chance to play it and see that it's good for yourself. It's so easy to imagine all these terrible scenarios, and people are definitely doing that with this game. I'm going to tell you though, you're going to be fine. Everyone's going to be fine. Game's going to come out eventually, and you're never going to remember any of this. When you think back to God of War Ragnarok, you're not going to remember the time when you were waiting for the announcement. You're just going to remember that the game was good, and that's all that's going to matter.
I remember there were, when I was younger and stuff, and again, I it's too tempting to be like, oh, these are all children or something, because unfortunately, some probably aren't. But I remember like there's a time where like I would just sit around like waiting for games and kind of being mad that it wasn't out yet, and nothing else even seemed fun. Like, why I play this, right? You do kind of have to have a moment you have to sit down with yourself and logically think through things for 10 minutes and realize how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
You can get Game Pass or you could go and get all these games that are on sale right now. You are going to have no problem finding things to play. And mathematically, you are probably going to like some of those games more than you will even like the new God of War, right?
Right.
Like, it's not like your favorite game is probably out there still, and it's not necessarily going to be God of War Ragnarok. And I get it. It's fun to look forward to things. It's fun to be hyped and whatnot. But gosh, even this game did get delayed. Then so what?
Right. You'll get to play it whenever you get to play it. And if you are, I don't know, if you're basing your entire happiness around this game coming out now or getting information now, you're not going to end up being happy. Like you need to find something else in your life to hold on to. All right. Matt Booty, after the Kotaku Crunch article, says that it's unfair to only look at the past, and he is sure that no crunch is happening at the moment at Bethesda. This was a story where Kotaku looked back at what was happening specifically with Fallout 76, and then beforehand as well, but primarily with Fallout 76 in 2018, where a lot of developers would go to work on that game. It was a nightmare where there was a lot of people were working a whole ton. There wasn't a ton of direction. The QA for that game was especially bad, and people got burnt out and left, and there was a lot of crunch. Matt Booty was like asked about this, and he's like, okay, in these articles, when they focus on crunch at one developer, it's very easy to be like, there is a problem at this studio. And it's like from 2018 and before, and like even up till now, this is still a systemic issue within gaming as a whole. Everyone does it. And so it's like when you're trying to, write a story and talk about the culture at a company, it's like maybe a little bit unfair because that culture perhaps reflects the entire industry. He spoke a little bit more, like him saying that he's sure there's no crunch happening at the moment at Bethesda. Well, hopefully. But
sure.
But it's like we don't know, and really he didn't talk about what I was kind of looking for were specifics about what do they do to prevent this stuff from happening. He said he talked about like, okay, we have processes in place for people to report it if it is happening, but like what is the active approach that they are taking on the other side where they can come in and be like, here's what we're going to do to ensure this couldn't happen here, and they don't talk about that very much. So I wonder if there is still the possibility for things to slip back into their old ways, and that seems very possible. So I'm glad people keep talking about it.
If ever there should be a poster child for why crunch is stupid and bad, the fact that we had a horrible crunching problem with Fallout 76 and the end result was still releasing Fallout 76
Yep.
It's like, why we do this?
Yep.
And hopefully people are realizing it.
I don't think they do, because a lot of times you hear people talking about this stuff and they're like, this is why Xbox has no games. They say they don't crunch anymore. They need to crunch more. Then they'll have games.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yep.
That's actually a shameful thing to say.
Right. And it's like, then they'll say, well, I work overtime in my job. And like, no one is saying they're not working overtime. They're definitely working overtime at a lot of these jobs. So come on, like people work overtime at jobs all the time, all over the place. We've done that at GameSpeed when we were like working E3s, right? Overtime there. Those are nonstop work, but it is not the same thing as 2 years straight of 80-hour weeks. That is a different thing.
Right, exactly. There's an end in sight, and a lot of it is kind of self-inflicted. There's not necessarily a boss looming. Sometimes there is, and I think even some of that stuff needed to and has cooled down a bit. But I mean, come on, it's obviously a big difference from some of the ridiculous stories we read about crunch at some of these studios, like what happened inside of Bethesda, right? And I mean, gosh, there's so many issues with that. It seemed like a game nobody had their heart into anyways, too. So it's not like this passion project for a lot of people.
Right. That's kind of like you see people sprint to like get something done the right way because they love it so much. There's no way that was Fallout 76 for anybody working on that game. It just wasn't. So yeah, you can crunch and end up with Fallout 76. So maybe the problem isn't that you're not working yourselves to death. Like maybe that is not a solution to anything, actually. So, if you can, and they put out, Microsoft specifically, games that they claim to have not crunched on, like Forza Motorsport 5, that gets really high reviews and stuff like that. So maybe it just comes down to better management and treating people with dignity and making like the best people want to come work at your company. Maybe that's the real solution here. Fans are pissed that Mega Man Battle Network Collection is skipping Xbox. Mike, I have my certain read on this, but what do you say as the Mega Man fan here?
I mean, it's hard for me to identify. I mean, I'm not going to play that game on Xbox. I was always going to play these on Switch. That if it was my only platform, I could imagine getting upset. I don't know. It is. If all the other ones have come out on Xbox, right?
I think so.
At least the X and regular collections have. I'm not sure about Zero, but I'm feeling like it probably did. So it's a little weird, but I mean there must be a reason, right? That maybe those other collections weren't selling well. I mean, why would they do this, Jeff? You probably have more of an insight here than I do.
When I look back at like how indie games have sold and smaller games tend to sell on Xbox, I just think that there's an Xbox audience and they show up for a certain level of game and a certain kind of game. That was informed by Halo and Gears of War, and like the Xbox heritage doesn't go back to like the 16-bit and 8-bit eras and the 32 and 64-bit. All of their stuff was big AAA games from the very beginning. Like they were like one of the first big AAA games with Halo. So I think there's a certain audience to be like, well, that's what I go to Xbox for. I don't want any of this rinky-dink bullshit. And like, that's now how I view it. But I think there's a certain audience that has always viewed it that way. Not to like paint Xbox fans like that. The numbers back this up though. Like where something like a Shovel Knight will come along, people will sing its praises. It does pretty well everywhere except for pretty much on Xbox. Like where the game immediately, almost like within like a month, was like outsold on Xbox on the Switch, like the Switch version, and that came out years later on the Switch. The 3DS version sold way better. The Steam version sold a little bit better. Like that was like the closest things, like Steam and Xbox. And it's like, well, PlayStation, Nintendo, all the Nintendo systems, including the Wii U, people are buying these games on there. So maybe there's just not an audience for these kinds of games on the Xbox. And I think that's kind of the thinking here.
Audience. Yeah, obviously there's going to be some people.
Yes.
Right. But I mean, I do wonder, like, man, how low could those sales have been for, say, the Mega Man Zero collection on Xbox? That, I mean, how difficult could it be to get this game that you're releasing on so many other platforms already? A compilation of
that's
games.
That's actually the real
also
thing, yeah.
Put it digitally on Xbox. It's nuts.
Yeah, see that, and that's like
doing that.
And it's like I think it's just so little. It's not that much more work. I suppose maybe it is. Maybe it's like just enough more development time to go through the certification process that they don't think it's worth it. But and maybe at this point, like there's the other side of it where, okay, well, it is worth it, but it'll be more worth it if Microsoft shows up with us with a bag of money and says, hey, put this on Game Pass. then it'll be worth it to us. I don't think that's actually the thinking here. I think for the most part, it just comes down to people don't buy. We're never buying these games on Xbox, but maybe they're like hopeful that on the other side of things, Xbox has the money for Game Pass.
Is it possible that it is something like Microsoft wants it on Game Pass and Capcom's okay with it, but they also don't want it to be on Game Pass day and date as it's coming on some of these other platforms, something weird like that?
Yeah, that's possible as well. It's like this one just feels like you said, it's a little bit weird. It's not like Capcom to do this, like to just like leave a console out. And in the end, it's fewer people are buying it on Xbox than other platforms, but it's still people are buying it. It is still money left on the table, and you would assume like, you want to maximize. People put their games out on Stadia, right? And like Stadia's not paying for games anymore. And it's like people are still putting their games on Stadia, like because some people will buy it there. So it's like at a certain point, any number of people buying it is better than nothing. It's
a little weird. And I wonder what's up there. I would love to, it's one of those things I wish they just be transparent about it and say, this is why we're not putting this on Xbox.
Yeah, it would be nice to just get like a straight answer on this, because it's like we, for the most part, like, there are a lot of shitheads in gaming. And as Tam was telling me today, like so many people are unhinged about it, but they're like, it would be nice just if they could just speak to the people who are reasonable and give us the straight answer, because it's probably like something really reasonable that makes sense in a business case, and I would appreciate hearing that. But I get why they feel like they have to be coy about these things and pretend like they don't hear the criticism in some parts. All right, Ron Gilbert said speaking of shitheads, Ron Gilbert said he will stop talking about Monkey Island because people are pretty toxic. Some fans are not happy that they have changed the look of Return to Monkey Island. That's the name of the new one, right?
Yeah, this is Return to Monkey Island. Some people don't like the art style, that kind of tearaway, paper cutout-y art style, I guess you would call it.
Yes, right? It's a stylized art style, and I like it. It looks cool. It's striking. Some people want it to, I guess, maybe look like perhaps a modern version of the old games.
Who knows? Some people some people are saying it should be pixels. Some people are saying it should look like 3, or some people just don't particularly like that style. And all of that would normally be fine, Jeff. You say this all the time, even just about us. We put stuff out there. We're open to criticism. Of course, the new Monkey Island game is open to criticism.
Yes.
It is just weird how absurdly loud it's gotten. And I've even said this before, and it's such a hindsight thing. Like, part of me wished that like the devs just never even talked about it, because they pretty early on were like, oh, we're bummed out that some people don't like the art style. I was like, no, just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They're just going to get louder, and they're going to just come at you more. And it is, it's always such a hard thing to say, because of course your instinct is going to be defensive, especially when you feel like your
human
team
nature
is under attack.
Yes,
right?
Human nature.
I get it. But, it sucks, especially because this is something that we should just be happy about, even if there's some aspect of it you don't like the art style. Like, come on, Monkey Island fans. We are getting the new Monkey Island game from Ron Gilbert, and you are making him miserable to the point where, part of me is like, man, this might just be the last one. This might be the last Ron Gilbert game. Like, whereas before, I was like, oh, maybe after this, he's going to make a new Maniac Mansion. I bet he doesn't want to do that anymore. I bet he's getting his first experience with making a game in a beloved franchise in the modern era, and it's kind of miserable, isn't it? I mean, same thing that Corey and the Santa Monica team is going through with God of War Ragnarok. It's you have a zillion voices all the time, and even if just 1% of those people are awful, that is going to feel like an absolute onslaught of negative that you just cannot escape from. And it sucks. It's like, I don't hate the art style. I don't know if I love it either. I have some things I'd like to say about it critically.
Oh, right. But you don't want to be part of the pylon.
Yeah, just don't even want to now.
Yep.
Like,
happens all the time.
I'd rather talk about Amber Heard right now.
Yes.
Like, my God.
Right. Exactly. It's people don't realize that by going to the creator, adding them, going into their comments on their website, and making it miserable for them, you are actually creating an environment in which, like, you're the poison pill. You've poisoned the well. No one else is going to want to like contribute to that and add on to it like with legit criticism, because they're afraid of guilt by association. And that happened like during like all the Gamergate stuff. They would talk about things like, oh, this thing's happened in this one game. I'm like, well, maybe we could have a conversation about it, but not with this audience. There's no way I could talk about it with them and have it not be misconstrued or taken in the wrong way or made worse for the people that these people are affecting. So it's just, you could be critical. It's just usually it's almost better to speak to speak outward and not toward a team. Like, speak outward, have a conversation with the community, go talk about it in your Discords. There's a million places to have conversations about things you don't like. That's the entire point of the internet.
Right.
But when you show up and you direct it at someone, now it does feel like a little bit of a personal attack. And you can maybe say like, well, this is how we get things to change. I promise you that if there's the possibility for change to happen, these people will be seeking out criticism and will find it. Like, that happens in every case. And if they're not seeking it out, it's because these things are decided and immovable now. So get over it.
It is weird. Like, people are acting like this is like the Sonic the Hedgehog, like ugly Sonic thing. Like, oh, we're gonna complain until they fix it.
Right.
Again, it's like, even if you really think it looks that bad, if you do think it looks bad, it's kind of incredible.
Yep.
So
it's
a bummer, because all I want to do is be excited about Monkey Island, and I am. And it's like this thing that has nothing to do with the game now is casting this shadow over it that I hope we can just kind of get over at some point here soon. Just be happy about Monkey Island again. And maybe that can't happen until the game just actually does come out in, even maybe a month after that, because there might be some line of spread. But gosh, the last two Monkey Island games didn't look very good. The last two 3D ones. And it's like, yeah, whatever. You'll get by.
Donnie, send me the DM me the thing you're talking about with Nate's latest tweets about Switch Pro or whatever. So we could talk about that, but I don't see them. At least I'm looking at direct feed games. This one account, maybe it's on his other one.
Super chat coming up there.
Yeah. Okay. That does it for the big topics. We'll get into some of these other things that people are bringing up in super chats and things like that. But I guess let's do that now. Mike, you want to read these super chats?
Yeah, we'll save Donnie's for later then, because I don't know exactly what tweets he's talking about either, so let's see if he sends those. But Tengu Ray says, "What up, fellas? If you could pick one famously terrible game to be considered a masterpiece in an alternate universe, which game would you pick?" Well, I feel like I'm living in the one where everyone's acting like Castlevania 64 is amazing. Maybe Bomberman X-Zero. I think it'd be funny if there's a world where Bomberman X-Zero was like our Ocarina of Time or something.
Right. Yes, God, man, Bomberman X-Zero. Yeah, I don't know what, like a terrible game that defining things. I mean, obviously the Balan Wonderworld is the thing that just jumps to mind immediately. What if Balan Wonderworld is like the new Super Mario Odyssey instead? But,
sure, I mean, trust me, that's what I thought at first, but then I was like, no, but not that low hanging fruit again.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I went with the low hanging fruit. Exactly.
No, that's fine. So TurboShun actually put the link to this.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. So you want to read Donnie's?
And Donnie's question here was, Jeff, what's Nate suggesting with his latest Switch Pro tweets? Is it time? And so Nate the Hate retweeted a tweet of his from October 14th, 2021, saying Nintendo sends next-gen Switch Pro dev kits to developers, blah, blah, blah. So, and then he just randomly he retweeted it today and said, felt like a good time to retweet this, not for any specific reason. So who knows? Now the original tweet even said next gen Switch or Switch Pro. At this point, Jeff, next gen Switch, right? At least whatever we're talking about this. I don't know why I resent people still thinking it could be a Switch Pro. Like I guess it's possible, but I'm so beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they come out into Switch Pro, they better be thinking about it in on like different terms. They better be like, okay, yeah, it's a Switch Pro, but then 2 years later, there's going to be a Switch Pro again, and that's going to be an upgrade. And then 2 years later, there's going to be a Switch Pro after that. That's another upgrade, and we're on that model now. If this is just like, a Switch Pro, and we're extending this specific Switch generation another, 3 or 4 years beyond that, because this thing comes out this holiday, and then we go 3, maybe 4 years from that, that's extending it too long. They need to be like really creative with how they're doing things this time, if that's the plan. But I think to that end, then why not just make it a Switch 2, the next gen Switch?
Yeah, but what do you think Nate's possibly teasing here? Is Nintendo actually about to finally announce one? Like, I don't. What is he saying?
I mean, I think all this stuff probably did happen. Nintendo sends next gen Switch Pro dev kits to developers. I mean, yeah, I know Mochizuki seemed to like get some egg on his face because that stuff never panned out. But the thing, basically the backbones of his story were always 11 developers got next gen / Switch Pro dev kits with a bunch of new features and new power and stuff. And lining that up with this stuff we're hearing about OLED screens, well, we're expecting the Switch Pro to come alongside that. Obviously, that was just connecting two dots that were unrelated. If you look at what happened with the Switch OLED, The Switch OLED was the only thing that was ever actually put into like the Switch development kits that were sent out like publicly. And so people that were digging into the code for those things was like saying, hey, we see something here about a Switch OLED with a bigger screen. It's basically the same thing. And then it's like if we had pieced all these pieces together, we've been able to see like there's only a Switch OLED coming at that time. But I think all this stuff about dev kits and 4K and things like that, being able to output 4K, not render at 4K, but output at 4K, I bet all that stuff actually did happen. Now it's just like, okay, so then to what end at this point? It's probably okay. All that stuff is back on the table. Nintendo's calling up these people that they sent these things out to, or they're resending them out if they ever like reclaim them or whatever. And it's with the purpose of saying, okay, we are now officially once again ramping up to something new. These dev kits will serve as a basis for what we're doing next. So just get ready for that. But I mean, the timing just at this point just makes sense. Like if you want to start a game right now to be a launch game on the next gen Switch, now's the time you would have to do it. Even if we aren't getting it to like early 2024, which is like a possibility, you would start. That's only 2 years from now. That's less than 2 years from now. So
But like, I wouldn't read Nate's tweet and get excited thinking that they're about to announce a Switch 2 in July or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think they're announcing much of these things anytime soon. Yeah, they may be. They might talk about the fact that it exists. They've done that sort of thing before, and they might mention like, oh, hey, the Switch OLED Lite is coming out, and get ready for that. And then they might say, and this is like, one of the last systems in the Switch life before we start looking at what's next. They might talk about it in those terms, but don't expect the Switch December video that we got like this December before that thing came out, where it's like there's someone in the car using this brand new system, and like here it is. They're holding a new Nintendo hybrid console. We're revealing everything right here, and then there'll be more in our big reveal in March. Like that stuff's not going to happen in the middle of summer.
So Knuble was saying in our chat that apparently he retweeted this because direct feed games.
That's him too.
That's him also.
That's also Nate. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, multiple account. Man, imagine I can't even handle the one account. So somebody asked him,
I see.
When's the or somebody just said, when's the Genshin Impact port coming to Switch? And he was saying, it's in development for the Switch DLSS model. I guess.
Okay. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. But it's like DLSS is going to be the backbone of this entire thing. Switch DLSS model again could sound like a Pro, and I bet they were originally planning it as a Pro, but it's just you missed the window on that thing. So
right, yeah.
If you're going to do it, you start it and like introduce it like as from scratch. Obviously, this is going to have to be more of a continuation of what came before than any Nintendo console up till now. But even with all that in mind, it should still feel like a pretty significant leap forward. And if it's going to run DLSS, it will have to be about at least 50% more powerful. You would imagine it's going to be much more than that, though. To really, if you're going to go all the way and unleash the power of DLSS, you might as well really go all the way and ensure that it has a significantly more power, uses a new chip process so that it can have a better battery life and all this other stuff, and really be sort of wow. And I hope that's the case.
That's enough of that. Victor Marinez says Sonic fans are just Pokemon fans, but their IP isn't as popular, so everyone accepts it. They all pretend those bad games are good, and I'm exposing it. I mean, I don't think it's a secret that needs exposed. Right?
Yeah.
But people will say Sonic Unleashed is good. Actually, I don't get mad about it. Like I'm like weirdly upput when people are saying that Castlevania 64 is good. I just kind of pat people on the head when they're like Sonic Heroes was good. It's like, okay. I'm glad you liked it when you were 5.
Mike, when you come, we'll play some games, but we're going to play through Castlevania 64. All right?
Okay. Maybe you might have to set up Sonic 06.
Okay.
Isn't that like I understand every gaming duo does it. It's maybe a bit cliche. I've actually never played.
I've never played Sonic 06. Yeah, I want to see him kiss a woman.
And it was so awful. We might just have to do that at some point also. But yes, we should play Castlevania 64 for sure, and we'll see what's up with it. Calvin Atkinson says, speaking of delays, what are the chances Bayonetta 3 gets pushed to 2023? Struggling to see when it could release with the current schedule of Nintendo. I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest shocker in the world, Jeff, if Bayonetta 3 was actually delayed. But I'm not like positive about that or anything. we could still hear about this game in some form or another. I don't know if there's a big Nintendo Direct coming again, but still. But yeah, like, the schedule is looking relatively packed, and this is one of their games that isn't. I mean, it's weeb-esque, right? But it's not a JRPG.
Yeah, it's also like one of their big new games when they're apparently having a lot of other ports and remasters in the works and stuff like that. So I don't like, even with a pretty like heavy lineup already. It's like, okay, it could release in like the same month as Advance Wars. Advance Wars that still makes it out this year, and they wouldn't like step on each other's toes too much, and it'd be like a brand new sequel and a remake. That's like a good 1-2 punch. I think it probably just comes out in a month with something else.
Georgie says Xbox crunching could actually get these games out. No, it couldn't. There's more. The issue isn't that people aren't working long enough hours. The issue is that making games is complicated. Making games remotely, in some instances, has still been complicated for some people. There's a million other factors.
And Xbox has actually put out a lot of games, and it's like, and like, especially if you include Bethesda on that, like. They just like sometimes those games are exclusive to PlayStation, and we just forget about that they exist. But it's like, that's Xbox putting out games. I don't know any other way around it.
JM says, can either of you talk to Xbox and get them to refresh the UI? Please, just bring back the blades already. That's the only reason we're going to use our secret Xbox connections, right, Jeff?
Yes, exactly. If we're going to do anything with the people we know at Xbox, it would be to bring back blades. I'm fine with the Xbox interface by now. By the way, I'm over it.
I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't upset me. I said this back when it launched the Series X. I just don't think it's very interesting.
Exactly.
So,
that's as big as sin. It's not very interesting. Exactly.
It's not. King is overrated says, help me. My friend has committed a PC cardinal sin using an ultra wide 4K monitor as a secondary. Oh, his main is a 1440p 16:9. I just can't. That is chaos right there.
That is chaos. Yes, that is weird. I mean, basically an ultra wide screen monitor. I guess if it's 21:9 versus it's like 32:9, that is just two monitors taped together. Like, that is what it is, side by side. So it's like you already have two monitors there. You might as well just make that your main one right in front of you, and then put the other one right above it. Like, that's the way to do it.
Philip Boyle says RimWorld on Xbox hype, can't wait.
I've never played RimWorld. I'm gonna get that. I think I have it installed on my Steam Deck. I'm gonna try it. I hear people love that game.
Mm-hmm. Jared Helder says, every creative industry has crunch because a finished project is more ambiguous. Should a release date only be announced when the game is done? I mean, what is should?
What is should? Exactly.
Because again, you got to get investors excited. You got to get the gamers excited. You got to announce things, right?
Yep.
And what if we all decide to do that right now? Then that would mean like 2 or 3 years here where nothing would get announced because of that kind of transition period. No. I mean, maybe it would probably be better and healthier, sure, but it's not going to happen. And who knows? Maybe it wouldn't solve the problem anyway. Because then internally they'd be like, "You need to finish this game so we can go ahead and announce it." Now you have to come in extra hours,
right?
So
exactly.
I don't know if that. Yeah, it's not a fix all. Taro Milliner. Let's say Milliner says, "Is Sony happy about the sales/critical reception of Horizon Forbidden West? I haven't heard any sales milestones for it.
I don't know.
Is Sony okay with an okay game?" I thought they said it passed 5 million at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I bet they're happy with it, happy enough.
They're happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's also got to keep in mind it's early in the generation, right? This is why they were doing the cross-gen stuff, and it also didn't it jump back up to like number 2 in the UK last week or something like that. That is what they're really hoping for. That it does a Spider-Man Miles Morales. If it does that, then what we're talking about here is not that big of a problem. This is the exact conversation we had with Miles Morales, where I'm like, oh man,
so you were down on it.
I mean, the chart showing wasn't good on the first month, and I was like, okay, well that's that then, and it was definitely not that. Like, that game has had legs because every time someone gets a PS5, they are picking up that game. If Horizon Forbidden West has a similar sort of trajectory, it'll be just fine.
Even still, I think it probably has already done just fine. I almost can't find anything. I'm sure they said something at some point about being happy with it, and the critical reception was very good. I know, like, again, it seems like people stopped talking about it pretty quickly because of Elden Ring, but I don't think I'm sure that wasn't ideal, but I don't think that really had a big money impact necessarily. I'm sure they're happy with Forbidden West, and I don't think anybody's calling it an okay performer. Sure.
Yeah, right. It's at least a good performer. It's not. I mean, it's no Luigi's Mansion 3.
It's Luigi's Mansion 3, but it was probably sold more than Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Probably.
Riaz says, "Is there any truth to the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake rumors?" Jeff, I haven't even heard these. Part of me would have a hard time believing that they would remake 3 and not 1 again first, but I don't know. Have you heard anything about this?
No, I mean, anytime we start talking about Konami, it's such a weird thing, and Metal Gear Solid is especially weird. But I don't know. That would be nice. I think they need to just remake that whole series at this point, because that would enable them to make sure that it has the ability to stay for sale, which the Metal Gear games have had issue with right now. And then they would also be able to put like Metal Gear Solid 4 everywhere. They just need to remake all of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why they can't be making that same kind of money that Capcom is with Resident Evil, and they don't even have to really reimagine things as much as Resident Evil is.
Right.
Just make these high quality remakes.
I mean, where's Dennis Dyack? Get Dennis Dyack on the case.
Yeah, but we don't do that. Jeff, that's it for the super chats. For now, if you guys send any more of those in, we will get to those. Don't worry.
Yep.
Babe, if you're watching, give a thumbs up. We're so close to 100, and I like even numbers.
Yeah, hit that thumbs up, everybody. We really appreciate everybody watching. We've switched our time of doing these, so it's like people are like still catching on to that change in time. So hit that thumbs up. It'll like put it in their feed so they see that. Yeah.
As soon as I said something, it immediately changed to 100. Now 110. Wow, thank you, everybody. Look,
Thanks,
all you have to do is ask.
Yeah. People are nice. People are like, oh yeah, I just haven't done that yet.
Hey, we got a super chat right here.
Yeah, hit it.
Let's read this one, then we can do some of these community ones. Toadpack Shakur says, "Oh heck, I'm finally about to catch one of these live again. I finally got my Steam Deck email today too. Jeff, can we dock our decks together soon?"
Yes, I love the dock.
I feel like everybody who's in Q3 got their email today except for me.
Really? Oh no.
My AJ did. My brother.
Oh no, that's terrible. That's like, because I was getting this sense that's like everyone in Q3 was going to be waiting to the very end of Q3. But it sounds like a lot of people got it already. Man,
well, it sounds like a lot of people got it today, and I'm going to be like the new Greg Miller. I'm going to get it at the last second.
Oh man, never mind. This is great. Hey everybody, how great is the Steam Deck? Am I right? That's nice. It's a good way to play video games when you just like, if you like video games, you probably should have one. I don't know.
That's fantastic. Great. Thank you.
From Doc7, hello Cheddar Chad and Chief Beef. Which one are you, Mike?
Oh, I'm not a Chad. You're the one with the muscle shirt. You're a Chad.
We're talking about how terrible it looked on me to start this show.
To be clear, it was never about you. It's about the muscle shirts.
Hey, listen. To be clear, I don't like the way I look in them either. Like in general, not because it's me, because I just don't like the way they look. But it's really hot somewhere in it. So I'll be the Cheddar Chad, and he could be Chief Beef. I like that. A studio literally called Proletariat being bought out by a mega corporation to be ground to bits under abusive work culture and crunch in the Overwatch minds is a bit too on the nose. Has late stage capitalism moved beyond parody at this point? So I definitely wanted to hit this question this week because GamesBeat.com broke the news that that Blizzard is acquiring Proletariat, the Spellbreak studio, to work on World of Warcraft content to get expansions out faster. Mike, what's going on over there?
It's pretty interesting. And what's going on is that content was not coming out for World of Warcraft nearly fast enough during Shadowlands, during that whole expansion cycle. You can find some graphs. There were some periods between those major patches where there were very big droughts, and part of that was absolutely the pandemic. But who knows what else? I mean, there's also other things going on inside of Blizzard, right? And we talked about this plenty of times. World of Warcraft has been in a rough state for a while. So what do you do when you need more help, you need some new eyes? Well, you go on a big hiring spree. You know what's a place a lot of people probably don't want to work at right now, Jeff? It's Blizzard Entertainment.
How do you make them work at it? You make them work at it by buying where they already work.
Right. Now, and again, like I don't know what Proletariat actually thinks about this, right? I mean,
sure.
So they closed down their game Spellbreak the day before they were announcing that we announced they were going to get acquired. Maybe that writing was on the wall for that game anyways, and maybe it was real scary, like, oh no, what's next? And maybe now they're thinking, oh, we're working on World of Warcraft, a game that's been around for forever already, and it's probably going to be around for a very long time still. We have incredible job security now, and hey, I like World of Warcraft anyways. This is great. Maybe someone thinking, oh my god, we're working at Blizzard, we have no identity anymore, and now we're just part of the World of Warcraft factory. I don't know. I can't speak for them. But I can say why I think Blizzard did this, and it is because it is a sudden influx of talent immediately, and it's going to help them immediately finishing up Dragon Flight, which is coming out this year, which is sooner than pretty much every World of Warcraft player thought it was going to, so they can help tidy that up, hopefully, and then immediately get on that content machine, because that game is going to need updates and new raids and new content on all this other stuff fast. And who knows, Jeff, maybe someday a World of Warcraft 2 is on the horizon. Still probably not anytime soon, but maybe, just maybe, they're thinking about that at least a little bit.
Let's see here. From Laushin, who writes, "Hey Jeff, big head, big neck, Grubb, and Mike, editor in chief Minotti. Hope you had a good."
Now who's body shaming? I know you said it yourself. I know.
I said it myself, exactly. Hope you had a good week. How do you determine your place in line for your Steam Deck pre-order? Laushin, I'm sure you already got yours since writing this, so I'm very happy for you. But if you do need to check, there's a tool somewhere on Reddit, and I don't know if anyone in chat has this.
Find the tool for me. I'm gonna find out live.
Let's find out live how long until Mike gets his. Laushin, once we get that link, we will share it on here so you can hear it and go to it yourself, or you can check it out in chat. Let's see. From Jedi Moss 4, is it fair to blame game companies being too secretive with their games for fans melting down online, or are fans online to blame for freaking out over any piece of information devs choose to give out? Can there be a middle ground? Yeah, listen, obviously there are issues on each side of that, but I mean, I think it probably does start with people being a bit too unhinged about this stuff. It does start with gamers being a difficult audience to manage and wrangle, and no one really knowing or able to predict how they're going to react to any bit of information, and so many developers going through situations where they put out something harmless, and then the entire story becomes about, oh, they degraded the graphics here. The puddles are worse. This is a worse version of this game than we saw at last E3. We should all be freaking out right now. Yeah, being secretive, being like holding things back is a pretty easy way to deal with those issues. And if you want your team to like have a pretty good morale, you want them to avoid those issues, because seeing everyone freak out about your game is never fun, especially when you are working on it and you're not allowed to go out and speak for the game. You're not like given the green light to have a public relationship with fans. So yeah, that could be really challenging. So at the same time, the secrecy on everything is also a problem. We talk about these people. Some of these people don't just understand how games work, and a big reason for that is because game companies are so secretive. Now, even if they shared everything, a lot of people just would have no interest in finding out how these things work. So the problems would remain in many cases, but still, I would still appreciate less secrecy. All right, Mike, did you get the link? Because I'm looking at it in chat.
Yeah, there's some things to do. I'm figuring it out.
You handle it. You're good. Okay.
I'm multitasking.
Laushin, it is getmydeck.ingenhaag.dev. Enginehaag.dev. So get my deck. You could probably just Google get my deck. I bet it comes up. So there you go. Let's see. From JumpMat. Hey guys, following up on a previous week's question, what kind of development work would Xbox have to do to get Game Pass games to run on Steam Deck? And how labor intensive would that be for them? So the big problem is just like getting the launcher up and running. And they wouldn't have to do too much, because they could just put the Windows version of the Xbox, game downloader, the Game Pass launcher and all that stuff onto Steam Deck, and then run it through the Proton layer. And I bet Valve would even go as far as to help them to make sure that Proton layer is compatible and wouldn't introduce any new problems. Problem is, like, Microsoft just doesn't have a lot of incentive to put a team on that stuff. Those teams are probably just working on a lot of other things. That's not to say it's like no work at all. Once that team does get on there, it would be somewhat labor intensive. And the big issue is not necessarily that even. The big issue is now you are creating a new avenue for support. And And now so you have to support the games on Windows, you have to support the games on Xbox. Now you need to support the game for the Windows version running through a compatibility layer on Linux. And that is a long-term issue you are now introducing along the chain. And is that worth it? Now, Microsoft, I think, in the long run will decide it is, but you still have to put resources into place up front to deal with those long-term support. That's almost always what the problem is with things. It's not the cost and development time to create something. It is the cost of supporting it for years beyond its profitability. All right, Mike, any news?
Yes. So I pre-ordered my Steam Deck 2 hours and 5 minutes after they went up for pre-order.
Okay.
That's when I was able to get mine. Actually, I did mine 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 48 seconds after.
Right, because it's that accurate. Yeah, okay.
Apparently, everybody who did it 2 hours and 5 minutes and earlier have got theirs processed.
Oh, okay.
So there are 48 seconds worth of people ahead of me, if this is to be believed.
Is there any information like how many seconds worth of people they're getting per day?
I don't know if it does that. And
okay.
Plus, it seems like that has jumped so much. Like they said, production's picking up too, right? So that may not even be accurate. So I don't know. Maybe I hope it is soon. I don't want to again be in September and still be thinking about getting my Steam.
Of course not. Yeah.
Like let's do this thing.
Let's see. Beefhammer has an interesting one. Reports indicate Skull and Bones is actually coming out this year, meaning Singapore will no longer have Ubisoft by its balls, also known as Tom Clancy's balls. Do other companies do these types of deals with national governments? And if so, will these type of deals continue in the future? Yes, it's not always with nation governments, but sometimes it is. It definitely is sometimes. But I mean, this has happened in the United States with state governments. Think of what was the name of the baseball player in Rhode Island with his team that was working on the MMO and it completely fell apart.
Yeah, the freaking
Bloody Sock Boy. Bloody Sock Boy is his name.
Bloody Sock Boy.
And then those kinds of things happen all the time. Incentives are created and they come with
Kurt Schilling. Thank you.
Kurt Schilling. Yes, they come with certain expectations. These things, Canada has a lot of national incentives, but those are very broad and very chill. They're like, hey, are you working on Canadian art? And what's a Canadian? It's a piece of media made in Canada. Well, there's a good chance you can get a lot of money from the Canadian government or a lot of tax incentives. And then on top of that, it's relatively affordable to hire people. But this is why so many people or so many studios have offices in Montreal and Edmonton and things like that. It's because of exactly that reason. So, yes, these things are going to continue.
TTHX1138 is saying in chat that I should be getting my email on Monday.
Ooh.
So we'll see. I'm not going to hold him to it, but I'm kind of holding him to it.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll be looking forward to it. I really hope it doesn't come so we can keep this going.
No.
Let's see. Casual. What beverages outside of tap water do you two like to use to beat the summer heat that we find ourselves in? What's a drink you go to?
I drink too much pop. We all know I like Coke Zero, but this is actually the thing I drink the most throughout the day are these diet green tea things. They have
are they tasty?
Flavor they're very tasty. Probably too tasty, right? Like it makes it look like it's real healthy for you. Antioxidants, vitamin C.
Yeah.
It's too tasty. There's probably a ton of aspartame or something in here that's killing me.
I'm over the aspartame thing. Aspartame's not going to hurt me. So many other things are going to hurt me before the aspartame can get me. So
I agree.
Aspartame.
Well, it's hard for me to say because I drink way too much pop.
Right.
So of course I'm going to be defensive, right? Like I'm going to be like a smoker in the 70s saying nicotine's good for me, whether it is or not. So, it's the same thing I say about the Mickey thing, right? Like don't ask for my opinion about Mickey's copyright. Of course I'm biased. Don't ask for my opinion and then get mad at me.
I'll just maybe aspartame I think is probably certainly better than sugar itself, but I'm so happy in this house because at the last house that we were renting, the fridge had an ice dispenser and a water thing on it, and it broke. It would freeze over. It was a shitty Samsung fridge. We moved here. The fridge was here when we moved in, and it was a Samsung fridge, and I was really worried it wasn't going to work. So far, it has held up. I just drink a ton of ice water. I'm actually super thirsty. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to just chug a ton of water. But I just go there, I get a bunch of ice, bunch of water, and I'll just drink the entire cup in one go. So yes, tap water is the actual answer for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. from Turbo Sean. Mike, he says, I hear you've been playing Capcom Fighting Collection, continuing to prove that you have vastly superior taste compared to your co-host. So I was going to play it. Shit, what the hell? So who do you play in Vampire Savior? Do you play the greatest fighting game character ever created, Felicia, or are you a heathen who plays literally anyone else? Hey, Turbo Sean, I play Felicia, so fuck you. All right, go ahead, Mike.
I actually knew Felicia pretty well in Capcom versus SNK for the Neo Geo Pocket Color at some point. I've been going through the characters in the mode, so I haven't done Felicia in that one yet. This is relatively newish to me. I played most of my Darkstalkers on that PSP version. I don't know what version of the game that was based off of, although the opening cutscene seemed familiar to me, so maybe that version was based on Vampire Savior this whole time. So far I've played through just the arcade mode as Morgan, of course, and I like BB Hood because she was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I know Felicia was also, but I always liked her in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because I would just make a team of Iron Man, War Machine, and BB Hood, and then when you did like the 3-person ultimate by just pushing the triggers, it was just an ultimate where they were shooting all of the lasers and missiles, and it would be a very easy way, if not to do a lot of damage, to see the combo number go high. So I liked that a lot. There's what's his face, Lord Raptor is basically Eddie from Iron Maiden, so I like him quite a bit. But there are so many good characters in that game. I like the bee whose name I'm forgetting already. It still stands out even amongst a lot of other Capcom fighting games and all the other Street Fighter clones, and that it is so strong thematically. It's not just a random collection of goofballs. The goofballs all have at least something in common, having this kind of anime style like horror movie inspiration.
Monster movie. Yeah.
It's like Universal monster movies as done by anime. And that's a great art style, actually.
It's the real dark universe. It's the dark universe Tom Cruise always wanted. It's always been with us, and it involves cat ladies. So cat girls, because if cat lady is just a lady who owns a bunch of cats. So
I was reading some of them, Morgan lore and stuff, and it's just so horny, Jeff. It's incredible. She doesn't like suck like the blood or stuff or the other bodily fluids from people, but when she gets pleasure, it creates some kind of a juice inside of her.
Sure,
it
vampire horny juice
or something, and that's what makes her happy. And if she doesn't get her juice for 2 days, even, she'll die. So she constantly needs juice.
So the big boob lady needs her juice. She
needs her juicies.
Okay, needs her juicies. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, from Hosp. Hey, yo, boys. Shout out to Grubb for his gushing of neon white on Nintendogs. It's brilliant. Having Ace 3 levels first time, I was feeling extremely smug until he blew my tiny fucking mind with red dev times, of which I have a big fat 0. Kudos. Mikey, you really need to get on this. Best speedrunning platformer since Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, I am going to. It's been busy. It's been pretty busy. Again, I've been bemoaning that I haven't been able to play more games really lately, but hopefully this weekend I can get into that. I mean, gosh, Delicious Last Course is out. It's funny how we complained how it was like, oh, it's gonna be a slow month during June, right? And it still feels like I'm behind somehow.
Yep. I mean, I left and you had to hire my replacement. It's got to be taking up so many hours of the day. Turbo Madden. Bandai Namco is on a roll with remaking their old games, huh? First it was Klonoa, Fantasy Reverie series, and now the pack is back with Pac-Man World Repack. Is there any other legacy Bandai Namco game you'd like to see remade?
I mean,
yes. Type 4. Ridge Racer 4, Type 4. Yep.
Although I hope if they do that, I actually just basically want the graphics to look like the PlayStation 1 version.
Yes.
I don't want it smoothed. Like so many PlayStation 1 games are remastered, even when Square Enix does it. Like, I don't want it to be Chrono Cross.
Right.
I don't want that garbage.
I want it to just be 16:9, basically. I
basically need widescreen, 60 frames per second, and get rid of draw distance. That's it.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's perfect.
I guess I'll take Mappy. Give me a Mappy. I like that little mouse.
I had Mappy on the NES, and I did like me.
Mappy's good. Mappy. Yeah, it's a good one. I like Dig Dug. I know you don't like Dig Dug, I think, right?
I just like Dig Dug 2, which people find baffling. Right. I prefer Dig Dug 2, which I understand is a strange opinion.
What is their top-down racing game? Namco.
What, Pole Position?
Is it Pole Position? Namco racing game? I
think it's Pole Position.
That sounds right. It was like a maze one almost. Maybe I'm making that up. It probably is Pole Position. Namco Classic Arcade.
Should I say Galaxian just so I can say it wrong and get you mad again?
Yeah.
Galaxian. Was that the wrong way, or is it a different way I'm supposed to say it right?
Galaxian. I think it is.
I would say Galaga wrong is what you could say.
Yeah, Galaga. You said Galaga.
I would say Galaga instead of Galaga.
There we go. Yes.
And you get furious.
Right, because Galaga is insane, Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh, they made Artanelico. That's the first game I ever reviewed was Artanelico 2. Talk about horny. That was the game where like you had girls with crystal slots and you had to shove crystals in them, and they were just like not subtle at all about how it was a metaphor for sex.
Well then,
there's a lot of moaning, a lot of like just straight up sex talk, but they were just shoving crystals inside instead.
I mean, well, let's remake that in full HD. All right. For Mr. Bowler, now that we're at the halfway point of 2022, what would you say is the most underrated game of the year so far? Either a game that no one else is talking about or a game others didn't see coming in it that you did. I think that we are unfair and we are ill-equipped as a society and a species to accurately estimate the quality of Mario Strikers Battle League.
Yeah. People, I don't know.
People want something from that game that it's not going to be, and it was never in the past, and it was never going to be this time. It is mostly a party game, mostly a game you play online with friends, and its greatest failing is that it doesn't facilitate that enough. But once you're playing the soccer, it's real good, real fun, and I'm having a good time with it. Like, I was going back to it last night. I was playing the Galaxy version, the Galaxy difficulty level of all the cups, and that's been really cool. It does get really challenging. Yeah.
No, I agree. I like that game a lot. Power Slave Exhumed is fantastic.
Ooh, that's an overlooked one, yeah.
And everyone who likes it,
knows
is into it. But I wish there was a world where more people were excited about this incredible remaster of a Sega Saturn FPS that's kind of a Metroid Prime precursor, but in Egypt. It's so good.
From Delta Prime 84, last question for me for a while since I'm taking a break from the Patreon due to financial reasons. No problem, Delta Prime.
Worries.
Yeah, absolutely no problem.
We'll still be here.
Yep, absolutely. Jeff, what camera and mixer are you using for your podcast? The camera quality is great, and I love the quality of the mic effects. I'll have to add them to my Xmas wish list. So yeah, the camera up here is, I think Mike is using it now too. The Kia, Kia Pro? The Kia Pro.
Yeah. I upgraded my camera sometimes. Like, what should I get, Jeffy?
Yeah. Yes, it's like because it's still a webcam, so it's very easy to use. It's not temperamental like a DSLR. We use these things like regularly. I don't want it to be temperamental, so it just works, and it has really, really good quality for a webcam, and it's 1080p 60, and you don't need more than 1080p for any live streaming content ever. So I'm really happy with that. And then I use the Go XLR mixer, which is it's kind of like it's the right thing for creating content online, especially if you're working with Twitch or YouTube live streams, especially if you're working with games as well, because it's very good. It has like multiple buses where you can have the audio go. I just learned that they're called buses today, by the way. Multiple buses. Yes, this is like where they carry the audio across these various channels, and I can make sure that they are getting routed correctly so that I can hear it, and then either the stream can hear it or my partner that on Discord can hear it and stuff like that. And it's very handy. There are software ways of doing those things, but those are even like way less intuitive already than the Go XLR, which is actually not super intuitive because computer audio is so strange and weird. But
you gotta have good bussies for your computer audio.
You gotta have good bussies. Yep, absolutely. All right, let's see. From Jamie H1224. I don't know how informed you both are on the French language bill that was passed in Quebec. There's more to it, obviously, but the main bullet point that stuck out to me was that any company with more than 25 employees must operate in French as their primary language. Wow, okay, that's maybe a problem. Do you think it will result in an exodus of people and studios from Montreal and other cities in Quebec as a result? I bet those companies will just find a way to fight this.
Maybe they just ignore it,
Right, that's right.
Like, is it just one of those laws? Like, what are they going to do? They're going to station the official language police to make sure everybody's speaking French more than they're speaking English?
Right. And it's like they don't want these companies to leave. They've done so much to attract them. Like, right. It's just.
I know nothing about this bill. I haven't heard anything about this. It sure sounds like bullshit. But...
Yes, exactly. Right. We don't know, and if we are getting this wrong, be sure to let us know. We'll correct the record on this. But as it has been presented to us here, sounds like a pretty dumb idea. Official language things of any sort are a dumb idea. Let people speak whatever they speak. All right, from Dugan. Hello, Deciders, aka Jeff Spicy Grubb and Mike Bubbles Minotti. With the growth with the growth of high performance ARM chips and the wanton desire for portable gaming options, it is a slutty desire that we all have for mobile gaming.
It is depraved.
It's depraved, absolutely. Do you think we are seeing the end of set-top box model of video game consoles? Is the market for mobile gaming already too saturated, or is there room for Xbox Mobile and maybe a few new competitors? I mean, I think there's room for new competitors, definitely. I don't know if Xbox and PlayStation have it in them to support like two forks of their systems, right? Because Nintendo's not even doing that anymore.
Right, exactly. And maybe a PlayStation 6 is something like a Switch where it is kind of a tablet that you plug in. But I don't know. I still don't think we're there yet. Maybe we're going to keep getting closer, where they can do that and still comfortably make a system that is a giant upgrade from a PlayStation 5 and everybody's happy about it, right?
Right. And the thing here is, like he says, high performance ARM chips, and that's absolutely true. And ARM 5 is coming, and it's open source, and these companies could like hop on there and really figure out how to make that stuff happen. But I mean, the Steam Deck is not ARM. The Steam Deck is an x86 processor that's just been shrunk down and made super efficient. And that might be the real solution here, is basically you just make an Xbox Series S that is portable, and that would be it's still obviously a few years off, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Clearly, I mean, who is it? Samsung just introduced their 3 nanometer process, and so think about,
is that a lot of nanometers?
So it's very few nanometers, which means it's way more power efficient. So the PlayStation 5 and Xbox.
Now I feel stupid.
I'm so sorry. Like, that rarely ever happens to you too.
You didn't have to embarrass me like that.
The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X use like a 7 nanometer process, and they're talking about like going to a 6 nanometer process. I think that's right. And they're going to get huge energy improvements from that. So they'll be able to use less cooling, or they could get more power in the future if they wanted to, but they'll probably just like use less cooling, be able to get higher yields per like the wafers that they get with all the chips, and more of them work because they can fit more on each of these wafers. There's a bunch of benefits there. 3 nanometers is significantly much smaller than that. They'd be able to minimize these things so it uses way less power, to the point where you could maybe make an Xbox Series S. Now, the Samsung process is different than the one that Xbox is using. They use TSMC, but all these things are in the realm of possibility within the next few years. It just comes down to, can they position it in a way that it makes sense for what they're already doing? If you are Sony, if you're Xbox, do you just want a handheld version that plays all the same games? And how do you do that without limiting what the big boy consoles can do? They'll probably get there, but I don't know if they'd have the interest in making the business side of it make sense. From Velocity Prime 1, it appears that Mario plus Rabbids is now a series that information leaks out about at every opportunity, which is true of a lot of Ubisoft titles. Is there any particular reason certain companies leak like sieves, while others, such as Nintendo themselves, are quite tight? I mean, there's a bunch of reasons. I mean, we get some leaks out of Nintendo. We were just talking about the Metroid Prime stuff on Nintendogs,
Sure.
But it's Ubisoft has a lot of employees.
Yes, in a lot of different countries.
In a lot of different countries.
That's a lot of stuff you have to put on the interwebs just
Yes.
to make sure people know what's going on.
Exactly. There's a lot of people you cannot compartmentalize because you are working with 14 studios on one game. And in some cultures, it's like, hey, we don't give shit. NDAs, that doesn't apply here.
Yeah, right.
They don't have any teeth in this country. We're going to drink our espresso, and we're going to smoke our cigarettes, and we're going to talk about what we're working on. I don't care who you are. You work at...
What country is this?
This is Bulgaria, French, Czechoslovich.
Nice.
Yes, exactly. It's some vague European country, Mike. All of the leaks come from Europe. I don't know if you know this. Yeah. Let's see. From Victor. Hey, guys, with the Star Ocean 6 focused showing this week, how do we feel about Square Enix releases for this fall/summer?
I don't feel very good about Star Ocean. I don't know. It looks off.
Has anyone ever felt good about Star Ocean?
Everyone likes Star Ocean 2
Okay.
a lot, and then I think it's been on a downhill climb since then.
There's still an unlocalized port of Star Ocean 2 for PS4, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I don't know. It looked so unfavorable compared to the recent Tales games to me that it was hard for me to get
right.
And that is kind of the direct competitor to those. Like when I think of action JRPGs that are somehow still feel more like traditional JRPGs despite having real-time combat. I don't even know what you would call that genre, but that's what I think of it. Like it's distinctly different to me than say Kingdom Hearts, which is just a straight up action RPG.
Right.
So, I'm not feeling great about that, but aside from that, what else is Square Enix have coming
Valkyrie
out?
Elysium, the Diofield Chronicles, Forspoken. Yeah,
Well, Forspoken, is that actually coming out this year?
it's been
Diofield
delayed a
Chronicles.
bunch of times so far. Maybe it could get delayed again.
So the Suikoden-like game, right? Is that Iduian Chronicles? I want to be excited
I think
about
it's Valkyrie Elysium. I thought Diofield Chronicles was the strategy one, but I could have that backwards.
Is that right? Oh gosh,
I could have it backwards.
I think that's backwards.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Iduian Chronicles, they had that spin-off game that came out to Game Pass, and I thought that was a big wet fart. So that kind of slightly killed some of my excitement for the spiritual successor to Suikoden.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Square Enix is making their own spiritual successor to Suikoden. Is that that's what's happening?
Well, I think that's that game. So they must just be publishing that. But I thought it was a Kickstarter. So I don't know.
I thought so too.
I'm actually pretty confused.
Yeah, me too. Maybe.
So I feel like I'm getting something wrong here.
Yeah.
Diofield is the tactics one.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay.
I don't think Square Enix was involved with Euden Chronicles. I don't know.
Oh, you're saying Euden. With the one with the I. Okay, I was saying Diofield Chronicles, which is the other. Okay, all right.
Okay, these words are all these made up nonsense words.
Right, Valkyrie Elysium is the other one that's coming out from Square Enix. So it's Valkyrie Elysium and Diofield Chronicles are the ones coming this.
Both those games were from that partner direct,
Yes.
and they both seemed mildly underwhelming to me.
Right, that's right. Yeah, too many Chronicles. Okay, all right, cool.
You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Live a Live.
Yes, have you tried that?
HD remake.
The demo?
No, I haven't played the demo. Again, at this point, I'm like, I don't even want to play the demo. I just want to play the game.
Yeah,
I know I'm in.
We were gonna maybe try it on an unfinished Unjump. Now we're not sure. We'll probably just end up
go.
talking about it on Bombcast. Danger Man Lee, hey guys, reflecting on Xbox Games Showcase, am I the only one weirded out? We saw Kojima announce he was working with Xbox, but nothing what is targeting second half of 2023 for Xbox. I mean, the Xbox Showcase was 12 months within this show, but undermined that rule with Kojima. Feel it was unfair. This is my new favorite thing. What does fair have to do with anything? What does fair have to do with anything? Like, what is it? What does fair really have to do with anything that happens?
It's not like it was a competition here where somebody got to win. No, I mean, look, they did that for business reasons. It's just to show, look, we got this big partnership, and doesn't this look good to our investors? Isn't this going to be a buzzworthy thing amongst the gamers? And isn't this maybe going to convince some other Japanese studios or big names to come and work with us also?
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody else. Like, it's not like Capcom was like, well, that's not fair.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. And it's just, I mean, if you want to live the letter of the law, it's like every game they did show is supposed to be within 12 months. They didn't show a Kojima game. There was nothing shown there. He just talked about something. So yeah. From Dr. Turbo Sus, which third-party company is more out of touch with what the gamers want? Sega, Atlas, EA, Ubisoft, or Square Enix?
Well, Sega and Atlas are the same thing.
Yes.
Almost, so we can always go through that. So what else was there? Sega, Atlas,
EA, Ubiquitous Software, and Square Enix.
Well, EA's actually been EA's making a new Skate. They're making all the BioWare stuff. They're not making. They're bringing back Dead Space. I know they're not making Mirror's Edge, but look, as a pretty big Mirror's Edge fan, I kind of get it, and I've kind of accepted that Mirror's Edge is pretty much a one-game franchise for me, and that's okay because I like that one game a lot, and I have no problems going back and playing it every few years or so.
I'm gonna talk about this a bit more on Game S Mornings tomorrow, but EA seems like it's getting like a voice. Like it's not like it hasn't fixed all their problems or anything, but being confident in showing Dead Space repeatedly to the Dead Space audience, not worried about trying to win over the world, just being like, hey, we're making this for you, and we're gonna have a bunch of times where we're gonna talk about this game to you, and that audience seems super happy with that. And then showing Skate super early and just being confident in what they're showing and being like, this is cool, right? Like you could tell that this is cool, right? Like what we're doing here, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, this looks cool. Oh my god. And I'm like, how is this the same EA that is like doing stuff with Battlefield? Like it just feels like they are figuring some stuff out, and it's kind of neat to see it happen.
I mean, their biggest problem is that they put so many of their eggs in that Battlefield basket, and they haven't been hatching. That's
Oh,
the big
Ethan
problem.
says everyone's dunking on EA on Twitter right now. What are they dunking on EA for? I'm sure it's something, but like if it's for the skate video,
What did
they're
they
just
do?
wrong. Okay, check their most recent tweet. Of course it
Yeah.
is. Of course
they must be talking. They're
Yeah.
talking about skate today. I thought is there people upset about that?
I mean, as far as I can tell, most people are pretty happy with it. But
It's what's it? Oh, it's okay. It's like a meme tweet. They said they're a 10, but they only like playing single player games.
I'm okay. Yeah. Oh, but like, they're right though. By the way, like if you only like playing single player games, you're missing out on a lot of good video games. Everybody, come on.
It's a weird thing to tweet.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I once again is like, it's a weird thing to get upset about. It's a weird thing to tweet.
Yeah, but like, they're making single player games. They're making Dead Space. Like
it's weird because they also are doing it anyway.
Right.
So I don't understand the point of it. This is like something it seems like they would have tweeted back when they were getting ready to release Anthem, not now. So I don't know. Weird.
All right. That actually, you know what? Let me scroll down here, see if anyone else. Oh, there we go. I thought he might have sent something in. King is overrated. Hey, Mike and Jeff, let me just start off by saying you guys are killing it with the content. Usually every day there is a new episode of Game Ass Mornings or others that I can listen to while working and just makes my day better. So thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Anything. We're here to put out stuff for you. Like check on GameSpeed, check Giant Bomb. We'll always have something ready for you. All right, Mike, that does it for us, though. Do we get any more super chats?
We did get some more super chats, so let's read those. Ariel Delgado says, got a 3DS because I missed out on playing in 3D. Need some repair, but decent price, I think. The market for 3DS parts is unreliable. Top screen is scratchy. And I tell you what, if you don't have a pretty decent in-shape 3DS, that's something I would prioritize getting.
Oh yes, now really quickly because it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, Dr. Butthugger says Spawn versus Army of Two. What franchise would you like to see come back to video games? Man, both of those just suck ass.
I don't want them to come back together. Spawn versus Army of Two, both of them together in one game.
I'd rather have Army of Two Spawn. I don't understand Spawn.
Aliens versus Predator, but Spawn versus Army of Two. Oh my God, it's a $1 million idea. $1 million, not more. A single dollar more.
Is Spawn the most recognizable character that nobody actually likes very much?
Is he the most recognizable character that just fucking sucks?
That just sucks ass.
Yeah.
I'm Spawn. I'm from Todd McFarlane. Like, okay, I'm in Soul Calibur too.
Have you ever seen that video of Todd McFarlane and what's the other guy that's really bad at drawing feet? Who worked at
Layfield, right?
Yeah, Layfield, and they were like we're gonna design a character, and then Stan Lee is there, and he's just fucking ripping at him the whole time. Like
I remember, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a good video. Oh man, I love that.
So good. Yeah. Oh, it gives me so much energy.
Hi, I'm Todd McFarlane, creator of Spawn. Sorry.
Oh my God. And I'm Layfield, the guy who drew the worst picture ever, where Captain America has one deformed breast that is sticking 5 feet out of his chest.
It's opened like a fridge door on his chest.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
He invented Deadpool.
Yep, absolutely.
He's made so much money. Like that weird thing from 10 years ago where Deadpool was the most popular comic book character in the world for a bit. He probably made so much money.
Oh yeah,
Actually, it's comics, so maybe he made zero.
Maybe he owes them money.
Maybe he owes them money. Ethan Birchall says, random question. What's your favorite Mission Impossible? I'm a Ghost Protocol guy myself, Jeff, the fourth one.
Yeah, I like the fourth one, but I like all of the McQuarrie ones best now. Rogue Nation, and was that the last one?
I think Rogue Nation was the first of the McQuarrie ones,
yes.
I think.
Yes,
I
can't remember the names.
Fallout was the last one.
Yes, I think I actually like Fallout the best
was also good.
Yes.
I mean, Rogue Nation is, or Ghost Protocol is still pretty much of that style. But that was,
it's like McQuarrie produced and written, I think, but that was Brad Bird directing.
It was Brad Bird directing. That was
good.
Like, wow, Brad Bird has this big career in live action ahead of him. Then he made Tomorrowland. Then he had to go crawling back to Incredibles 2, which was like fine. So I don't know what he's up to now. THX1138 says Monday is cake day. Mike, he's talking about my Steam Deck. We'll see.
I hope so. I don't hope so. I don't hope so. I got mine. That's all I need.
Yeah, quiet you. Uriel Delgado says, which is better, ice cold water or midnight water? Oh, nothing beats the tap water poured into a Dixie cup from your bathroom sink.
Yes,
when you
I got my Dixie cup for since we moved in. I've been had the same Dixie cup. I just keep cleaning out and using nonstop.
I keep doing that too. I don't know if that's healthy. I just keep using the same Dixie cup.
I think if you clean it out, it's fine. Like,
what do you mean by clean out though? Do you mean rinse out? Like, I'm not using soap.
Mostly rinse
cup.
out. If I see a spot on it, I will use a little bit of soap.
But yeah,
I see like a spot, like a dirt spot. I'll clean it. Yeah.
I prefer. Sometimes even in the middle of the day, I'll get water from my bathroom instead of the kitchen sink, or like, because I even have like a filter in my kitchen sink. When I'm like, no, the bathroom unfiltered water tastes better.
We got the Great Lake water. We're fine.
Yeah, that's true. Ariel Delgado says, "Oh no, that was the water thing." Last one here from Dam. So, with the new Mega Man Network Legacy Collection announced, do you think Mega Man Legends or the Misadventures of Tron Bonne will ever come back? I could see them someday doing Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 and Tron Bonne in a collection together of some sort. They will be slightly more obnoxious for them to port than these, some of these older games. Although, I mean, Mega Man X Collection 2 had a PlayStation 2 game in there, very fancy. So, in PlayStation 1 games, I don't know. Yeah, I bet they do. I bet they do.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the water the discourse.
You're still thinking about water?
Well,
people are really going on about it?
Yeah.
Youngstown City water is no bueno? Is it bad?
Hey,
well, I'm in Poland, Ohio. I'm in bougie Poland.
They put hair on your chest. Maybe that's what happened, Mike. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That explains a lot.
Winnie says, what do you all have against water bottles? I always think about those very mean Icelandic children who are running the gas station I went to, because I was going to walk from this event back to my hotel room when I went there for work, and I'm like, man, I have it's going to be like a 2-hour walk, and I'm like, looking forward to it, but I'm like, I need some water, so I bought a water bottle, and they just were like, water's free out of the tap, you don't need a bottle. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I forgot my canteen. All right, leave me alone. And so I always think about them, and I'm like, I know I'm being wasteful. I know.
Turbo Sean said in chat that Misadventures of Tron Bonne's source code is in development status on Capcom's servers. Excuse me. So they're probably doing something. So
I imagine they are going to do something with those games. They're going to get to that point eventually where that just is all that's left.
It's probably a slightly more attractive prospect than doing the Star Force games first. Before that, anyways. And then once they do those, that's basically everything. King is overrated came in with one, said Spawn literally killed God and the devil and got bored of his godly powers and went back to a hell spawn for the challenge. So some respect. That sounds like a boring ass character to me, Jeff. He killed God. Cool. I wonder, you think Spawn has ever had character development, like in terms of like how he perceives the world or anything? Or
he probably got a new power or something. It sounds like he got lots of new powers. That's his character development. That's all he gets.
That's like no.
Yes, that's all he gets.
So.
He got a new toy.
He's got a new hat.
Yes, he got a new hat.
Jeff, that's it. We're caught up on super chats.
Okay, all right, Mike. Have you been playing anything?
I mean, I talked about it. Really, I've been playing Vampire Savior specifically in that Capcom fighting game collection, which has been, I've been enjoying that. Red Earth is really interesting because that one is like a fighting game meets a beat 'em up. Like if you play it as a single player game, you fight bosses. You don't fight like just the other roster characters. There's only 4 roster characters. Yeah. So that's neat. I kind of want to dig into that one a bit more. There's 5 different Darksucker games on here. And right now I'm just playing Vampire Savior 1, which I think most people say is the best. There's a Vampire Savior 2 and a Night Warriors 2, which we never got here before, which is neat, but also means they're all in Japanese. So, and at least in the Darksuckers games, those weirdly horny dialogue boxes before and after battles are pretty amusing. So I kind of don't want to miss out on them.
Right.
So I'm sticking with Vampire Savior 1 for now. Unless maybe Turbo Sean will probably know if I should be playing one of the other ones. So yeah,
I'll check into those games.
Vampire Savior is the tournament standard. That's the one to play. So it seems like that's basically what I did. I was like, because I was only slightly familiar with the series before. So I was like, which one should I play? And most people seem to say Vampire Savior. So
okay, very cool. I'm gonna get that game on my Steam Deck. I know fighting games don't work super great on the Steam Deck, but
get it on Switch so then we can play with each other.
Okay, I'll get it on Switch then. Sounds good. That'll be fun. That could be a cool stream too. I'd like that.
Yeah.
All right. We should probably wrap up though, because I've just been playing Fall Guys, which is still a lot of fun. But we talked about that a little bit on Nintendogs, and then I've been playing a lot more Neon White. But I will have more opportunities to talk about that. We're going to be doing a live stream of that on Giant Bomb next week, so everyone should tune in for that. But it's still very good.
We got a few things on the schedule here, Jeff. So right after this, actually, if you are in the Game Mess Game Club, join the Only the Strong channel. We are going to be having our kind of game club meeting where we're going to talk about bug fables. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to get on Twitch so that
I'm going to be joining from my phone, so I'll be there too. I'll be hanging out with you guys.
So I'll try to moderate so that's not just a chorus of voices and whatnot. So we'll do that right after.
Should you do it as like a Discord stage?
I don't even know what that means. So
it's
I don't
know. Dean does those hangout, those clubhouse things.
Is this like you have to raise your hand to talk?
Yes.
We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So maybe we could just do a regular room this month, and next month. If it's a cacophony, we could do a stage next month, maybe.
And don't forget to vote. I think that's ending tonight. I think tomorrow we're going to find out what our July game is. It's either going to be Thief Gold, Echo, Tides of Darkness, or Kentucky Route Zero. Jeremy G just came with a super chat saying dibs on final super chat. Let's see if that's really dibs.
Hey, and you know what?
Let's prove him wrong by giving me more money.
Vote for the game that you want to play the most. I'm not gonna tell you what to do otherwise.
Well, the mods did a great job. Like it's really confidential now. Nobody knows which one has the most votes. So.
Right.
It's a nice system, and there's not that was a huge problem, but last time there's some people kind of getting anxious about what was winning and stuff, and
let's eliminate that stuff. That's not what Game Club's about. The first rule of Game Club is it's chill.
You talk about game, yes, yes, exactly.
You talk about Game Club once a month on Mike's Twitch.
And then tomorrow we're playing Fall Guys.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. We probably should have talked about it, but I've been having so much fun playing Fall Guys.
Yep.
A lot of it's just the people I'm playing with, like you and a lot of my kind of local friends here and my brother.
It's just a good, it's a good like playground for fun stuff to happen, and it doesn't get in the way too much of like just being able to have those conversations. So
yeah,
I've been enjoying it.
I got 4 crowns the other night.
Yes, you did.
One night.
You really did. 4 crowns in one night. That's got to be the best part of it going free to play is these kids seem like they're really bad at this game.
There's a lot of children that we're just beating up now, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, it makes me very happy. This is when I'm at my happiest, Mike. This is when I'm beating up children.
We're showing them what's up.
All right, I'm gonna hit the button, Mike. I've hit it. It's my this is my podcast. Hey, Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Tolkoto. King is overrated, so no, Jeremy, he's got the last super chat. Good job, King. Find me on those things. I'm on gamesbeat.com. We'll be back on Tuesday with Last Night Titles. Ooh, the new 90s Disney is going up tomorrow. I hosted this one. It's about the Discovery River boats in Animal Kingdom, an opening day attraction that only lasted for about a year and a half.
Did you have enough to say for a whole hour of that show?
We went 55 minutes, I think, so
That's
we just
awesome.
about got there. We did it. So
Very good.
I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, look out for that tomorrow. Jeff, who's your guest tomorrow on the Game Mess Mornings?
Let's see. We moved around because Tam did today because he's off tomorrow. So Jan is on with me tomorrow, and then you're on with me on Monday. Are you down for? Wait, no, we're off on Monday, so maybe not. That's right. Maybe the week after.
Maybe come on. Yeah, sure thing.
Because Tuesday we do the Bombcast. We don't do a show on Tuesday.
That's right.
So,
yeah, whenever I'll come in.
We'll see. And then if I need someone to fill in last minute, maybe I'll call you up. And then yeah. All right, we'll figure it out. But
maybe I should just play you in Vampire Savior on Monday.
Yes, that'd be fun. Let's do that. I would like to play some games on Monday. That would be fun.
We still have to go 1v1 in Mario Strikers also.
Yeah, so Friday night, we'll be playing a lot of Fall Guys, but I have my train early in the morning. It's like very early, like 3 a.m. So to the point where I probably shouldn't sleep. So I'll just sleep on the train. So maybe we just like play games pretty late, and then I'll get ready and just go to the train tracks or whatever. But
nice.
Yeah, we could play some Mario Strikers 1v1. I would love that. I've been practicing, so you better watch out.
Oh, I might have to get back because I'm a little rough. I was playing so much Turok, which I finally beat. Yeah. So I have to maybe do a little bit of that.
I'm sure I'll play some Neon White too as well, everybody. So yeah, twitch.tv/JeffGrubb. Right now, though, if you're watching this, right, you could just tune out right now. Twitch.tv/Tolkoto. Go there right now, everybody. Twitch.tv/Tolkoto. We can put that in the chat if anyone wants to get that for me. We'll see everybody. See you next week. Bye. I hope you die soon.
Batman is dead.
My wife.
Enjoy your gaming.
Enjoy your gaming. My wife.